What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another podcast here with Hot Lava Sports. I'm here with Max. And today's podcast, we want to talk about the lineup for the season, the opening day. And so we have some couple of mock lineups. Before we get started, though, good news is we already know who the first stars are going to be for Game 1 and Game 2. And I have it right here. For Game 1 is Tyler Glasnow versus Yu Darvish. And for Game 2, we got Yamamoto versus Joe Musgrove.
So both games, righty on righty.
Yeah, Max, what do you think about the starting pitchers? Do you care of the way it was Yu Darvish first, or you're just as it is what it is?
Yeah, Darvish is a very experienced World Series pitcher that he's been around for a while, and yeah, he deserves the nod, and especially the way we've seen him pitch during the course of the season. Mm-hmm. But there's times where he really struggled. But it's really good to get his footing back, especially not today's start, but the last start before that. He had 3 strikeouts on 10 pitches. So it's like he's really finding his groove.
Yeah, for sure. I think nothing to take away from Joe Musgrove with his how he looked like during the spring training, because right now he's just working on things, Mm-hmm. I'd rather have him get hit all the time while he's trying to figure out what's the good pitches compared to do it during the season. But I would say I like Yu Darvish for Game 1, either Game 1 or Game 2. But Game 1 with Tyler Glasnow, I think it'd be really good. Do you have any other notes with Glasnow? Do you know of that you think what should we be looking for? Or
Glasnow was part of that trade the Dodgers did in the offseason.
Right, with the Rays?
Yeah, yes. And they actually flipped Manny
Margot?
Yeah, Margot, who actually got flipped again recently.
Yeah.
And he was actually a former Padre.
Right.
But yeah, Glasnow, I mean, yeah, we know what he's capable of. Right. But it's also both their starters they haven't pitched a game with their respective team.
Correct. And then for Game 2, again, this Game 1 is 6:05 a.m. Eastern Time, 3 o'clock.
And we're the home team for the first game.
Correct, and 3 o'clock Pacific Time in the morning. Correct, in the morning. So Game 2, and that was Game 1 is March 20th, which is literally next week. Am I right, Max?
Yeah, it's Wednesday.
Next Wednesday. And then Game 2, again, is March 21st, which is a Thursday. Same time.
You better get rolling because it's baseball's here.
Yeah, next season. I mean, next week is literally start of the opening games for the Padres.
These games count.
Yep. Game 2 though, Yamamoto versus Joe Musgrove. Max, let's start off with the Dodger pitcher. What are we expected to see, or what did you see in the pre?
Yeah. So the first game he had against the Rangers, he did really good. Like he only allowed 1 hit, but when he played the White Sox that second game, he got lit up. He hit like 5 hits on 7 earned runs.
Okay.
But I mean, they're always players adjusting, going to have their stretches and struggles.
Right.
It's just going to depend on how they adjust. But at the same time, this is MLB pitching and hitting.
Yeah. And again, he's facing Joe Musgrove, where people were like, well, what is up with him during spring training? But again, just like every pitcher is trying to see what they can work with, have them live hit, like live throwing with the batters to see, hey, is this working, or am I just getting hits all the time? So,
and another thing to keep in mind also, before they depart for Korea, they're going to have their rosters finalized. So there's as everyone knows, there's the 26-man. But for the Korea trip, they're allowed to bring 31.
Yeah, because you can't just call somebody, hey, can you come
31,
in?
Only 26 can play in the game.
Right.
But for the expedition game against the Korean Pro League teams, those players that were added to play in those games.
Yeah. And, that you just need to add more people. Just if something, knock on wood, something happens, and they have backup right there and then instead of getting people, hey, we need you. Like the flight's long enough where it is. And then when do they leave? When's their last game for the spring training for the Padres?
On my notes, I have the Padres their last game is Wednesday.
Wednesday.
And we'll probably know if Merrill makes the team or not by the 15th.
Okay.
Because the spring breakout game for the Padres-Mariners prospect game. So I would presume they'll be gone by then.
Okay.
So if Merrill doesn't play in the game, that's a good indication.
Okay. Yeah. For the last game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, we just wanted to tell you guys the breaking news of the starter pitcher from Game 1 and Game 2. And again, March 20th. So get those alarm clocks going because it's going to be one good games. Both games. I'm excited for it.
Yeah. And I'm going to add one more question. I'm sure a lot of our Padre fans are asking, who's going to play third base?
Well, here's the thing. Like, what are we knowing about Manny Machado?
And Machado is not available.
Yeah.
Let's just anticipate he's going to play DH.
Yeah. Well, you can have Kim. You can put Kim at third. Have Kim at third. Bogarts at shortstop. Second base would be Jake.
And first?
Then first base you will have to find someone that can play first. Who can play first?
I mean, we just
Jackson.
said...
Who could play first?
We're a lot of the lineups in spring training recently with the starting teams has been Paulie playing third, Merrill playing center field.
Yeah.
Or Guy Rosario could play third. He's been playing third with those reps. But even Profar could play first if we needed him to.
And that's the thing. So you will have everybody the same position. Bogarts at second and Kim at short and Jake at first, and we filmed that third spot.
Yeah, third base is the question that we have because on the depth chart, we really are we just sent Matthew Batten down in the minors. I mean, we'll see when nothing's set in stone yet, but Guy Rosario is probably going to be the guy playing third. When I was in spring training, he played third. And then there's a lot of Azakar could play outfield for a little bit. There's a lot of options, or there's a lot of ways they can do it, but I trust what Mike has in store.
And do we know any breaking news or any updated news about Manny Machado? Do we know is it still up in the air? Like we won't find out until the lineup is out, or what are they saying?
There hasn't been any official reports, but they're saying it's not likely he will play as a third baseman, but it's not out the window.
Yeah.
But if I was gonna bet, I would just pencil him in at DH.
Okay.
Which I don't have a problem with because you want him healthy all year.
Right. So I would think, and at the end of the day, it comes back to the player if he's ready or not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Manny, I can see he's saying I really want to play third, but at the end of the day, he's gonna try to get as much advice as he possibly can and see what they say overall. But if he can hit, which I know he said he can hit and just not field, that's still good.
Yeah.
We have third baseman that not like top tier like Manny, but can still play the hot corner and stop the ball. So I'd rather have a hot hitter than.
Yeah, we can move some pieces around for the first week.
Yeah, but these games count. We do. We found out the hard way last season where we're down by a couple of games, and I'm like, man, we can only win by these games.
Even though King's gonna be a starter along with Burrito and Vasquez most likely, but in the Korea I heard that King will have a relief appearance. Okay, that's what I was hearing.
Okay. And do we know who our 4 and 5 rotation is?
We don't need to.
Right, we don't need to. But do you have do you think you might have a theory, or do you think you have potential people you might?
It'll probably be Vasquez, Burrito, or that might be a 4-man. And if they do go with 5, they could put Matt Waldron.
Yeah.
But you have to remember, after we play the Dodgers, we don't have another our home opener is not till the 28th.
Right, and it's like I think it's some 2 expedition games back to Petco Park. Yeah.
So we don't need to really
worry about that yet.
Yeah.
Because then you go back to opening day, right? Which is when? The 28th? That Thursday. You could go back to your Darvish game.
Yeah. One. Oh, and sorry. Yeah. As far as I forgot, I didn't realize. I thought these were the same, but there's the spring breakout game, and then there's the prospect game.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, but
so
yeah.
I feel like everything is happening so fast now.
Yeah.
Like all in this month, so.
And then FanFest is right there.
Yep. And again, to tell everybody, it's the Sunday, right?
Mm-hmm.
What day is that again? Sunday the
24th?
4th? Yeah, 24th.
Yeah.
Okay.
But what do you feel like we're gonna come out ready to go?
I'm just excited to find out who is in the roster, as in like these prospectors. Are we getting them? And
are we gonna make a last second move?
Yeah, and AJ, he can do it.
11th hour.
Yeah, and if that's the case, who do you think could happen? Like who could happen? Another outfielder, a pitcher?
Michael Taylor's still there.
Michael Taylor.
I don't think we're gonna trade for anyone. I think if we're gonna go for a veteran, it's gonna be a free agent.
Yeah.
But another thing I wanted to mention, you guys, Padres signed Brad Miller, lefty utility guy who was he used to be a Ranger, and if you see here's a lefty bat. Brad Miller. We signed him a few days ago. He's a lefty bat, 34 years old. Just gives us some lefty depth that we are desperately needing.
And what position he said?
He can actually play, I believe it says he could play like 3 positions, like first, second, short or something.
Yeah.
Multi positions.
Okay, utility kind of guy.
And another thing I just want to, if I go on advanced stats here, or a game log, it shows, tell me what you think about that while I...
yeah, I mean, if he's a veteran, why not? I mean, if he's... How much... He was a free agent, right?
Yeah, it was like a minor league deal.
Okay, so why not? Like, that doesn't hurt the Padres whatsoever. And if he can step in for someone, or can make a play, or pitch hitter, right? Mm-hmm. Why not? That's a good... And he's a lefty. And again, we need lefties. Who's the only lefty we have right now? Jake. Officially Jake. We don't know about Jackson Merrill. But officially, only one guy that I know, or Profar, right? He's a switch hitter.
Yeah, switch hitter.
But man, that's a good pickup because we need a lefty.
Exactly,
and a veteran in the clubhouse. He knows he can help the youngsters out. I know Manny's there too, of course, and other people could be there. Like that's what we got Profar because he's a good guy for the clubhouse.
And he was a really cheap
pick.
Yeah, 1 year, $1 million.
Profar, right?
Yeah. Oh, you know who might actually make the team just because he can hit lefty? Brett Sullivan.
Would you consider him as a? I know he's a catcher. Would you put him as a third catcher for the Padres, or would you put him in the second? Because we have, of course, Luis is going to be the starter.
My feeling is they're going to take 3 catchers to Korea.
Okay.
Just because you need your player, you want to have as many players to use to warm up, and you want to utilize your depth chart.
Oh, I get that. But let's just say when quote unquote season starts, would he be the second string backup when Luis needs a DH or needs a day off? Behind the plate.
It'll probably be a matchup thing.
Okay.
Because if we're going against a righty.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, let me see if there's like any other things that like stick out, because on the 40 man, there's a lot of movement.
Yeah.
Who I think could be a starter, and I've mentioned this before, and he's a lefty, is Tom Cosgrove.
Yeah.
Or Adrian Morjon.
Yeah.
And I saw him pitch. He looks good. His health is the number one thing we have a lot of bullpen that is lefties, like Yuki Matsui. He's supposed to be available back.
Yeah, from his little injury, right?
Yeah. Sean Reynolds, Jay Groom. There's, yeah, like I just think we have a lot of guys that can compete. Oh, and Wandy Peralta, Sean Reynolds, yeah. But yeah, it's gonna come down to being ready to play when first pitch.
And let's go back to a little bit what you said. When will we find out, since you have the calendar kind of, when would you find out when we have who's going to make the team or not?
Yeah, good question. Yeah, so that's going to be, my presume is going to be, yeah, we're going to have, it should be no later than,
the end of
Saturday.
this week?
Yeah, the Padres announced a series of roster moves Saturday afternoon, which was a couple of days ago. Yeah, they made a lot of transactions. They a lot of players got moved down to the minors, so they're cutting in. But the opening day roster is gonna be. We're probably gonna have a lot more players that are gonna be in Korea that are not gonna be on the team once we come back to San Diego.
Right. They're just for backup.
Yeah, exactly. Gotcha. But I would say by Friday.
Okay, cool, sweet. I think that was pretty good. We talked a little bit more about the Padres, what we expected, opening days, who's a pitching for game 1 and game 2. Anything else you want to add before we start our lineups?
Yeah. So do you think this team it has a chip on their shoulder? They're like,
no, not at all. I think last season there was. I think this year we don't have any. Yeah, of course every team expects to be a playoff team and go from there and win the title.
I mean, do you think they're like hungry just because they know like they just have to play their game now?
I want to say they are, of course, hungry, of course. But I want to say that expected unexpected, meaning just play ball.
Yeah.
Look what happened when they made the the playoffs in 2022?
NLCS?
Yeah. And did we expect that? No, we didn't. I didn't expect opening season this might be a playoff team, but we didn't expect them to go this far.
But that series that when we beat the Dodgers was a really telling that we're not scared of you guys.
No.
We're not afraid of you.
No. And then last season, what happened was, I think, from what we started 2022, and now we got Soto that 23, the end of 22-23, they're like, oh my god, the Padres just made the NLCS. Yes, they can go to the World Series. And I think that just put a lot of headlines with the Padres. Mm-hmm. So, to answer your question, no, yes and no. I think more of the no part is because yes, they want to make the playoffs, but no one's expecting them to go far in October. Or are they expected to be the playoff team?
I mean,
what do you say? Do you think, are they expected? Are you be surprised if they make the playoffs this season?
I mean, if you watch that Padres hype video, like, World Series is always the goal.
Right.
I mean, we're not just in there to fill a roster.
Yeah.
We're there to win a championship, a title, and bring the first championship to San Diego.
So do they have a chip on their shoulder, or
they're gonna have to play loose. If your goal is to win a World Series, don't get in your own way.
Yeah.
But at the same time, just know what worked, how you built this team,
right?
And you already see the offseason with the new coaching staff and the drills and fundamentals that they have been all playing with. I see that they're going to come in, they're going to play loose.
Okay. And last thing, Padres have more weapons pitching or more weapons with the bats? What do you feel that Padres are more heavy on, or are they equal?
I feel the the relief pitching is gonna, if it's as advertised.
Yeah, on paper.
Yeah, we're gonna be in good shape.
Okay.
But this is kind of something that I wanted to bring up also. So you know how we got those pitchers, the Vasquez and King and Brito?
Right.
I mean, we might have those three guys be starters come the first week of the season.
Yeah.
And, like, that was a major loss for the Yankees. Like, now look at Garrett Cole. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, are they going to start doing his surgery now?
I don't know if it's surgery, but it's like they're monitoring his status. So, like, I mean, they gave up a lot just to get which is understandable. But I mean, we didn't have those starters when that season ended.
And it's crazy how you're saying that, because now, like, you're like, yeah, it sucks to have lose Soto for the Padres, but what made us lose against the Phillies in NLCS? What made us lose after the third rotation? We had 4 and 5. We couldn't win.
Yeah, it was really, it came to, what our strength was all year hurt us. Our bullpen just plummeted.
Yeah. And when they hit, because look, this what happened was when we had Sean Manaea, on the 20, I'm talking
Clevenger?
about, and Clevenger for 4 and 5, right? We couldn't, Bob Melvin at the time didn't want to, or have been all hands on deck. Okay, Clevenger, you're going to go as many as you can until they start hitting off you. And what happened with the Phillies? Second inning, maybe, he got pulled off. That hurt us. We did come back. Padres were trying to come back, but the lead was so high that it was like Padres scored 3-4 runs, and then what happens after? They score more runs. So it was like you close up, 2 steps forward, and 1 step back, that kind of thing. So it's like, that's what kind of got me frustrated is we lost to Phillies because we didn't have a good end of the rotation.
If we had, okay, let me just put it this way. If we had, I know we didn't make the playoffs last year.
Right.
But if we had last year's roster and the year that we went to the NLCS, we probably would have won World Series.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And, I mean, whatever happened.
But, I mean,
it's been closer to the field.
It's just kind of showing what the potential is.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I want the Padres to go far. I want to see if they can do it, and I know they can do it. You gotta play your own game, and don't play.
You're gonna be watching every game.
Play another team's game, yeah, exactly. So, I mean, hey, again, I'm excited. We're gonna wake up early for this Dodger game and Padre game in this early morning. So, but other than that, I think we're ready for the lineups. Anything else?
Well, talking about lineup, I think the way I'm gonna approach this is not who's gonna be in the lineup, but who do we think will be the lineup that is not set in stone.
Okay, yeah.
Like I kind of mentioned it earlier, like with Guy Rosario, Graham Pauley, even Profar can fill in Merrill. Another guy who's been talked about that's been who can sneak on this team is also Jacob Marcy.
Oh, yeah. Outfielder?
Yeah, and he's a natural outfielder.
Yeah.
And we also have you know who's another guy that could make opening day too? Tyler Wade.
Okay.
And he's a lefty bat.
Okay.
And he's a infielder, second baseman. But yeah, I think we're gonna see I think it's gonna be like Kim, then like Machado's either gonna be fourth or third, but it's really gonna be that top. It's gonna be that bottom half of that lineup where they
can go anywhere.
Is it gonna be our prospects or is it gonna be just veterans, or is it going to be players that are not on our team right now?
Yeah. Well, listen to this lineup I have, okay? I have this lineup here thinking, and put in mind, this is the lineup that I'm thinking can start the Dodger game, right? This is my lineup for Dodgers. So for 1 through 9, I have Tatis going number 1, playing outfield. Bogarts batting second, playing second base. Cronenworth batting 3, playing first. Machado, let's say he stays healthy and Machado will be cleanup and he'll be third base. Saying like he's healthy. I'm just gonna say if he's healthy, he can play. So he bats fourth, cleanup for third base. Then Kim would be fifth, playing shortstop. Then your catcher Luis Capuchano playing batting sixth. Then Jackson Profar would be seventh and playing outfield. Then I do have Graham Pauley being DH. And then Jackson Merrill batting ninth outfielder. So that's for the people I'm thinking. If Manny Machado doesn't, then you can just switch with Graham Pauley to third and all that.
Yeah,
that's.
I mean, I'm pretty okay with that, excepting I don't think Kim will be that far down the lineup.
Where would you put Kim at?
He's either going to be like 1 through 3 somewhere.
1, 2, 3. And that's the thing. Kim was doing so good. Okay, so Kim was doing so good at batting first, but I don't see him batting second or third.
No, I think.
So would you put who? So go use. What would you think? What would you?
Him and Bogarts could also flip, interchangeably.
Like Kim?
Yeah.
So you'd be okay Kim batting second?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think Kim is. I mean, the fans want to see him, so I think he's gonna be like.
Can he start off batting leadoff?
I mean, his on base percentage. Like whenever you watch him, he's always on base.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And the thing is, like, we're gonna need. It just depends who that 8-9 hole hitter is gonna be, because you want to have players that can get on base at the bottom where your leadoff can drive them in, but I think as we really watch. The season's a long season, but we just need to be ready when the first game hits.
Yeah. No, exactly.
I can't believe it's Wednesday. Next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday, yeah. I know.
It's happening.
It's happening here, so... Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I mean, hey, this is what we like to do. This is why we're doing this podcast. We like to talk about our emotions, our thoughts, and just kind of like, hey, this is what we think, and we want to talk about what you guys think, and...
Yeah, and
it's fun.
We hope to hopefully get some subscribers, some tickets.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think if we hit how many subscribers? Are you doing like a subscription? Like if we hit this many people, we'll do a giveaway or
subscriptions and engagement.
Okay.
So set
the bar max right now. What we're doing? 100 subscribers with. You talking about comments?
Like. Let's get like 100 subscribers and you just have to scroll down for comments. We just need a lot of more.
Okay. So you hear it here first, guys. I'm cool with it. If we hit 100 subscribers, do you have a goal that you want to hit it by?
Yeah, if we can get after the first month of the season.
First month, so
like end of April.
End of April. Okay, end of April, if we hit 100 subscribers and our comments are good enough that we can kind of scroll up and down and engage, we'll give away 2 tickets.
Yeah.
Give away 2 tickets. Pair of tickets to the Padres, or for our other listeners that are not a Padre fan, which we're okay with, or you're listening from a different city, we'll give you those tickets.
And if you just live in San Diego and you just want to have fun, something to do, you can participate.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. So let's do it. I'm down for it. End of April, if we hit 100 subscribers, have good comments, and we can start engaging, we'll sell 2 pair of tickets.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Anything else, Max, you'd like to say?
Yeah, so I think that pretty much covers it, but I think we're going to be... all eyes are going to be on the Padres.
And definitely, we can do another podcast right before they leave. Once we find out we should find out, like you said, who made the team on the roster by end of this week. I think we're saying like by Friday, and we can update you guys who's on the roster, or who's extended to go to Korea. Because again, they're gonna tell us who's gonna make it, and I can't wait to see the lineup.
And you know what Machado just said? Like a few hours ago, the Padres Nation, Machado says Padres are hungry after disappointing 2023 season. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
It was a disappointing season. I'm not gonna lie to you guys.
yeah, but like the bar is you can only go up from here.
Yeah, it can't get worse. I mean, yeah, I guess, but let's not put it out there. We have a good team that can compete still. We're not here to buy 4 pair of tickets on right field to get 4 hot dogs and a soda, you know?
Yeah.
Just to show up to a game, you know?
Yeah, this is not the...
We're not talking about the Reds here, you know?
Yeah.
Where I saw that. I remember seeing like a sign.
The kids eat free Red Sox.
Yeah, if Boston wins.
A lot of starving kids.
Yeah, I guess so in Boston. But hey, no, I'm excited for the season. I'm excited for our channel to keep growing, and I think that's a good idea. Once we hit 100... we're good.
And don't forget, if you have cable, you could watch it on. If you have the cable, you can watch the Padres channel. But if you don't have cable, you can watch it on MLB TV. And if you subscribe to the Padres in-market channel.
Okay, and then talking about people that have cable, you just have to, it's on the guy. You have to find it because we don't have It just MLB will put it out there.
Yeah, I think if you have cable, I think DirecTV is like $6.94.
Okay.
And then. MLB TV, you could watch it on the app.
Yeah.
So just want to make sure, and if you're not from San Diego, the first 2 games against the Dodgers will be ESPN if you're out of market.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, hey, that's good news. Thanks, Max, for sharing for those people that still don't know where they can watch the games. But I think it's going to be good. I know, like, again, guys, we'll make another podcast about the actual roster, who made it, who's going on the plane to Korea. I think I'm already going to know Jackson Merrill is going to be there for sure. These other guys who are playing spring training will make it.
And I hope to be able, while the season is in season, we can kind of do like analysis on like plays that won us games or plays that lost us games.
Yeah.
And
what pros and cons of a game, right? You're trying
to
analyze it.
The margins.
Yeah, and then you try to do that. Are you saying you try to do that almost every game, or are we trying to?
Or
like the series.
Like really key moments.
Okay.
But like, yeah, but yeah, I really want to give like more additional, like analytics just to give a better experience.
Yeah. Cool, guys. Well, thank you again for listening. This is another great podcast we did, and excited for next Wednesday.
Yep.